Okay, this is gonna be an interesting video, totally different than anything that I do. And I just felt the need to make it just because this is a theme that has shown up in my life as an entrepreneur for a very long time. And it's look rich or be rich. You know, which do you want? There really is this choice that we have as entrepreneurs that we get to consciously choose every single day. Which do we actually want? Do we actually want true liquid wealth, or do we just want to be a poser? And with everything going down with Dan Bilzerian, you know, I don't follow him very closely at all. That dude is like way off in left field from anything that I would ever care about. You know, dude's a serious entrepreneur, sure, like, you know, he's good at getting attention at least, but you know, he's a good story of over leveraging yourself and relying on things that aren't permanent. So let me talk about what I've taken away from the situation. And for those of you who are following it, Dan Bilzerian, he's actually this, you know, supposedly multi-hundred millionaire, like entrepreneur who supposedly made his money in gambling and poker. But it turned out that he was getting loaned money that he wasn't able to pay back, ended up way underneath in a way that he couldn't handle. And now he's out of the game, or at least will be soon, unless he finds out a way to recover or sells enough CBD or you know, hemp products to make up for the losses, which is unlikely. So, you know, Dan flashes these things like nice cars, you know, women that he kind of just objectifies, you know, and things like this to just grow a massive platform. And, you know, I get it, like it works. You know, I've got even associates of mine who use things like nice cars or nice watches, or, you know, even myself, you know, I've got this nice apartment or whatever, to promote and to sort of paint an image and to have a better first impression on potential clients, customers, business, whatever. But there comes a point when it really does just purely exist to feed some inner insecurity or ego. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Look rich or be rich. So let me talk about myself. I'm 20 years old. You know, I never finished high school. I went right into business for myself at 17. And at this point, you know, our business is probably on track this month. You know, it's the 5th of the month. And if I project out the numbers, we'll end up doing about $70,000 to $80,000 this month in profit across everything that I do. And I say that not to brag, but to give you an example of a principle that I've applied in my life that has allowed me to move quickly as an entrepreneur, you know, even at a young age. And that's look rich or be rich. So you're faced with this constant dilemma as an entrepreneur, if you're making any money at all, or constant dilemma even just as a civilian, as a normal person just going about his day-to-day life with a credit line from some bank. You know, which do you want? Do you want actual liquid cash in the bank and an actual business, or do you want to look the part? And do you want to look the part so much that people can't even question, you know, whether you're actually legit? There's so many people that over leverage their credit to get some nice car or a nice, you know, apartment or something like that, so that they can flash it and use it hopefully as some sort of an investment to sell something on the back end or something like that. Or, you know, or they're just feeding their ego is really what it is. And what happens is the validation that you get from people seeing that you're succeeding, if you're looking for that and you've got an ego and that feeds you and that makes you happy, it will keep you from actually building your business the right way. What matters is having good products and good systems to sell those products or services. Good products or good services and systems to sell them. What are you selling? How are you selling it? That's all that matters in business. And if you can just get obsessed with that, building actual wealth becomes really easy. And then these things become accessible, like, you know, nice cars, nice watches, whatever. You know, if I wanted to, I could easily get out there and lease, you know, a $100,000 car or something like that. But I'm just not gonna do that. It just doesn't make sense for me right now, and it's not what my focus is. You know, at some point, it just detracts from my ability to serve people in my business. Like a car, it needs to be run, it needs to be repaired. You know, it needs constant attention. You know, even this apartment, I have to clean it. I actually hire a cleaner to come once a week and clean this place because I literally just don't have the margin to do that. I'm on the phone or in meetings with my team, with new clients, with existing clients, whatever, all the time, and that's what running an actual business looks like. So you can't have these little things that drip off the edge and take your time elsewhere. You know, it's why the girl that I'm dating right now is an amazingly low maintenance girlfriend. It's why, you know, I have a very small social life outside of my business. I don't really mind that though, because honestly, what I do in my business, I meet amazing people, and it really is less of a work-life balance, it's more of a work-life integration. But that's a totally different topic. So you either get to look rich or be rich. And what's interesting about the human ego is that if people assume something about us, if people, for example, you see this a lot in like middle schoolers who are told they're smart a lot. They're like, you're so smart, you're so wise, you're so smart, you're so wise, you're going to go very far in life. If they get told it too much, they actually start to think that they don't need to work in order to achieve, and then they slow down and then they bum out of high school and then they end up, with a crappy job of some kind or whatever. They don't succeed in the long term. It's the same thing with looking rich. If you look rich and people are giving you that validation all the time, the desire to actually be rich can go away. It can go away. So if people assume that you've done something, let's say you're a runner, and you go around touting that you've run a 4.5-minute mile or something, and people believe you. People believe you, and you get accolades and awards, you get interviewed on, like the news or whatever. Your desire to actually go out and actually run a 4.5-minute mile might then be diminished. And so this is just such a huge lesson as an entrepreneur. You can decide which matters to you. And this is a decision you can make right now as you're watching this video. Which matters to you? What actually matters to you? Do you want to build a real business that is creating true liquid wealth while serving great clients and customers? Or do you just want, the flash of it? Do you want to be seen? Do you have some deep-seated insecurity that you need to feed by looking some certain way? Which is it? And you can have a great business and also have flash and have nice things. But those nice things shouldn't fill the deep void that I believe should be filled by serving people well and actually building something great. So it's just something that I've heard said and echoed by a lot of the most successful people that I follow. You can look rich or be rich. You can either be the part or speak the part. And what's interesting is, I've noticed that the most powerful words don't just come from the words themselves, but from who's saying it. It's not just the words, it's who's saying it. This is in sales too. This is what we teach inside of one of our programs where we help people start and grow their social media marketing agencies, which is one of the things that I do personally. We teach you that it's not just what you're saying on these calls to sell clients, it's who you are. It's what you've done. What's your background? Do you have other clients you've worked with? Have you proven this stuff to work? So it's who's speaking. So if you want to take the shortcut, the short-term, high satisfaction shortcut, and forget actually becoming legit, and you just want to look legit for a sec, go take a lease out on a car, go rent out a place you can't afford, take out a bunch of credit cards from a bunch of different banks, over-leverage yourself, and die trying. If you want to do it the right way, forget all that short-term satisfaction, do what I did, 1.5, 2 years of absolute nothing. I got frick all for the first 2 years of trying to be an entrepreneur. It was year 3 where I finally began to figure it out. It was constant grind, scraping, people thinking I was an idiot. And honestly, I probably was at the time. I don't blame them. I've grown a lot as a person, as an entrepreneur, and as an individual. But at the time, I was working really hard, no validation. People that were friends started to leave my life because they thought, you're getting work obsessed. Why would you do that? I was a normal kid at 17 in many ways. And I had normal friends, and they didn't like that I was trying to do something. And you have to be willing to go against the feeling of validation for a while so that you can come back into a new feeling of internal validation. You must be able to look in the mirror and feel that feeling of validation. And often possessions and these things, they fill that void for people, and it's a very unfortunate thing. And I'm not at all attacking Dan or people like Dan, these people who over-leverage themselves on a personal level, because if I'm honest, we all get it. We all understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. And most of us, if we had the access to, probably would do the same thing. So it's a constant test of your ego and what you actually want in life. And if you're not willing to daily battle this thing, it will take over you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and as a leader. You have to stay humble, and you have to recognize what actually moves the needle in your life and in your business, and focus on those key metrics, those key things to move the needle in the ways in your life that matter to you, family included, family, friends, business, everything. Don't just look the part, be the part, and people will notice. People will just notice. You don't have to, if you're optimizing your life for who notices, you're gonna live it's gonna be a sucky life you're gonna live. I'll just be honest with you. If you are waiting on the next person to see who you are, and I've been there, man, that's why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because I've been there. I've done the look rich thing. I've been there and done it, and I learned. and I adapted and overcame that, and I'm now today, you know, we did like $6,000 in the business today alone, profit, you know, and that's because I started focusing on actually building a real freaking business, man. Like I stopped wanting to look, and I just started being, and I started studying the people who are and what they're doing and what they're saying and how they're thinking, and just adapted. And so I would encourage you, you know, if you feel some weird temptation to like go lease another car, and I made this mistake. Literally at 18, I leased a BMW, and I actually was able to not pay that off. I wasn't able to pay it off. I literally, this is how stupid I was. I put $2,000 down on a $20,000 BMW. That's how stupid I was. And I couldn't pay it off. Had to move that money to what is now my Honda Civic, which is what I drive now. And I'd probably have a nicer car if it weren't for that stupid decision. But I drive a Honda Civic now and I enjoy it. And it's very close to being paid off. It's a $17,000 Honda Civic, and the price of the BMW was $20,000. I put $2,000 down, paid about $3,000 by the time that it literally broke down because it had so many miles on it that I had to trade it in, and I got $3,000 out of it. I got $3,000 back for that, okay? That's how stupid I was. And it became a $15,000 car, moved that debt over to the Civic, which is now only a couple grand away from being fully paid off, which is pretty cool. So I really hope that you understand that, like, dude, I couldn't tell you how many pitfalls you're gonna avoid by just being the part instead of trying to look the part. Let the look and the style be just this tiny drip off of a much bigger pie. Like a nice car should just be like a meh, whatever, buy it in cash. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be this, all right, I'm gonna hustle and grind for 3 years so I can afford a Ferrari. No, trust me, not worth it. Trust me, not worth it. I guarantee you. Lifestyle expenses, luxury expenses, things that make you look the part, they must be a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of what you're building, or at least not so big of a piece that it kills you. I see way too many entrepreneurs. This is what takes out, I'll be honest, 95% of like the personal branding, like internet marketing people, what takes them out is lifestyle. Their lifestyle creeps up on them and it overtakes them. And that's what happened to Dan, and that's what will happen to you if you're not careful. You know, don't look at Dan as, wow, how could somebody do that? You gotta understand, humans are all broken. We're all stupid. If you had the same resources as Dan, it's very likely that you would do the exact same thing. So you have to be very aware of that and choose not to very consciously. And it's the same for me. You know, I've got more cash in the bank than I think any 20-year-old should, you know what to do with. And I'm just surprised sometimes at the fact that, you know, I'm not just blowing it on crap, but it's just because I have a different paradigm entirely. I'm putting it back into the business, running ads, you know, hiring team members, frick all, you know, whatever, spending money on courses, coaches, people to help me continue to grow my business, things like that, right? And yet, you know, the money is just not even a thing for me. It just comes. It happens. It will continue to happen. My job is to work on my mentality, myself, my image of myself, and how I view money, and how I view what I do for my customers and clients, and work on the processes that run the entire machine. And that's it. And that's all that you need to do, and it will get you to that next level. If you're attached to the perks of what that next level brings, it will be nearly impossible for you to get to that next level. Forget the perks. Work on yourself. Work on who you are as an entrepreneur. So this has been Look Rich or Be Rich. I think it's a really important video to make, and one that I think it needs said. And some people would call me a hypocrite. They'd be like, well, Trey, you know, you've got like nice watches, you've got like a beautiful apartment, whatever. But I'm very open about how much those things cost, you know, and what role they play in my business. A lot of this, you know, I probably wouldn't own a nice watch if it weren't for the marketing aspect of it. Same with the apartment. I'd be happy on like $2-3 grand a month. I live in Indiana, okay? The most money I know somebody makes in Indiana outside of myself is like 70 grand a year, okay? It's not a rich area. You do not need much to do well here. And I don't need much to be happy. I just love growing businesses, and I love serving people, and that's where you need to arrive as an entrepreneur. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If this video helped you, leave a like, leave a comment. Hoping to reach some new people with this video. You know, Dan's a really hot topic, and I just want to kind of hit that right now. You know, hit the iron while it's hot sort of a thing with this video, because there's just so many lessons to learn in watching this sort of a train wreck. And I genuinely, just on a human level, hope the best for Dan. It's not like he's done anything like morally wrong, as long as he pays his dues come time. It's not like he's hurt anyone from what I know or anything, but you know, there's just all kinds of shady stuff going on. And the reality of humans is that when we are given the opportunity to do something that benefits us short term, we take it. That's just how we work. We take it. There's people addicted to pornography, drugs, there's people addicted to video games, these things, because it's dopamine. It's a short-term feeling of a high. You're addicted to the feeling of validity. You'd rather have your friends say you're doing well than actually be doing well. And this is just how the world works, and it's a very unfortunate thing. So get out of that feeling of seeking validation, get into actually building a real freaking business. Get out of your head, stop looking for new ego hits, and build something legit. Build something real, work your butt off, give yourself 5 years of that mentality, and it's gonna take you just incredible places. It's taken me 3 years to get to a point where we are very close to being a $1 million a year operation in my business. And the first major step I had to take was this exact one I'm talking about in this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.